All right, here we go. Good morning. I would like to call to order this meeting of the Board of Fremont County Commissioners and invite you to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I would just like to say welcome to all of you who are watching us from home or from office or from outside or wherever else you may happen to be. We're happy to have you with us this morning. Can we have a roll call, please?
Absolutely. Commissioner Bell.
Present.
Commissioner McFall.
Present.
Commissioner Payne.
Present.
County Attorney Jackson.
Present.
County Manager Bryant.
Present.
Planning and Zoning Director Garrett.
Present.
All right, we move next to approval of today's agenda. I don't believe we have any changes or corrections we need to make.
Madam Chair, I don't know of any changes. I move to approve the agenda. Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve today's agenda. Roll call, please.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Payne.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Today's consent agenda, I would like to note we are not scheduling a new public hearing for sometime in the future. We always like to call attention to those when we do. So we don't have one on today's consent agenda.
What about the special meeting, scheduling that one? We're scheduling a special meeting for 2 o'clock on Thursday.
Yeah, we do have a special
Yeah.
meeting then. I thought we'd probably talk about that when we get to it under our public hearing for today. So.
Okay. With that, Madam Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve today's consent agenda. Further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Payne.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Up next is administrative and informational topics. We have first staff and elected officials. We're going to start this morning with Sunny Bryant, our county manager. She has a county manager report to be followed by a sales and use tax report. Good morning, Sunny.
morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So a quick update from the county manager side. So Fremont County has been awarded a $1 million Department of Local Affairs Energy and Mineral Impact Grant. And this grant will go towards building a community center at Pathfinder Park. So we're very excited for that. We have matching funds through Conservation Trust funds and through the 4-H Foundation that will also go towards this project. So we're hoping to start the construction on this project sometime this fall. We're working towards finalizing everything, seeing what all we need to do at the site. So we're going through that process right now. So we are also going through the process of submitting all of the paperwork for FEMA reimbursement. So there's a lot of different things as we go through this COVID-19 that are eligible for FEMA reimbursement. So we're getting everything, all of the paperwork finalized and everything ready to be submitted. And then we're going through the process of monitoring all of the revenues and expenses closely just to make sure that we're able to react quickly to whatever budget impacts this may have. And so each month we'll be really scrutinizing all of those items and making sure that we're staying on track. We have created a county webpage for anybody that is not aware, and it's a COVID-19, so I appreciate all of John Grayson's help through this process. So the link is on our homepage at www.fremontco.com, and if you go there, scroll down just a little bit, there's a link that goes directly to that page, and it has a lot of available resources, so we're trying to compile them from various state or federal entities to be able to share with the public, small businesses, anybody that may be able to be helped by these resources. So we update that as soon as we get information in, so stay tuned to that page if you are looking for something. And if there's something that's not on there and you feel would benefit as far as a state or local resource, reach out to me and I'd be happy to look at that and see if we can add it to that page. So that's all I have from the county manager report.
Thank you, Sunny. So I'm going to slide right on into sales and use tax.
Yep.
Thank you.
The retail sales tax collection, so right now, the way that the taxes are collected, we're 2 months behind in collection. So the state is our collection agent. They collect the taxes and then they remit it to us. So the report I'm giving for sales taxes through February of 2020. So in the first 2 months of 2020, we were actually up $171,000 in sales tax collections. And so we started off pretty high on those 2 months, and we all know that that will change very quickly. And so as we get those next numbers in, we will look at those and make any necessary changes that we need. The auto use tax collections are actually through the month of March, and so for the first 3 months, we are slightly up with $435,000. The construction use tax collections are January through March as well, and we came at $17,568 higher than what we were in 2019. And then the lodging tax, we have January and February collections, and the total came in $6,199, which is up $3,177 from last year. And then on the sheriff retail sales tax collections, the first 2 months, we were up $114,552. The auto use tax collections for the first 3 months going to the sheriff's department were up slightly at $290. And then the construction use tax collections through March were up $11,663 for the first 3 months. So like I said, we'll continue to monitor all of this and make any necessary recommendations as we move forward.
All right, thank you so much for that, Sunny. I would like to expand a little bit on what you're talking about with COVID-19 and the increased expenses that the county has had. This definitely is not just the county. It's going to hit every tax collecting entity that there is. Municipalities, special district, it's going to hit everyone. The question is going to be how hard. So as commissioners trying to prepare for this and figure out what it is that we're going to have to do, the three of us have been spending hours and hours that blend into days and more days and Fridays and Saturdays, and I spend some time on the phone on Sundays a few times. We're working so hard and very closely with Colorado Counties Incorporated, with the National Association of Counties, with Action 22. We even have calls that they're setting up with our United States senators to help us try to figure this out. Most lately, most of my time has been spent trying to work with all of those folks to convince Governor Jared Polis that the state should help the counties out with some of the money that they received, $1.2 billion to the state of Colorado for costs associated with fighting COVID-19. Almost $500 million of that went straight to communities, to counties that have more than 500,000 people, 500,000 and up. That's only 5 counties in the entire state of Colorado. That leaves 59 counties here in Colorado who have no federal help to help us fight these costs. So we have had those conversations. I've done more Zoom meetings with people than I can even begin to tell you, and the bad news is right now it doesn't look good. The state is telling us that their budget shortfall is going to be so much greater that they're simply probably not going to be able to share those funds. And I think that's incredibly disappointing, because even our senators on a federal level are telling us that those funds were intended to be shared with local governments. And right now we're being told that that's probably not going to happen. So I just want to let everyone know we still are fighting for this. We think proportionately, we may not have the biggest shortfall in terms of hard dollars, but proportionately, it's going to hit Fremont County and our municipalities and our special districts just as hard as it's going to hit everyone else. And it's very, very disappointing to me to know that our governor has no interest in trying to help out those other 59 counties here in the state of Colorado. So those are the comments I had this morning. Commissioners, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, sure. I want to kind of add on. Thank you, Sunny. I want to add on to the Pathfinder Park Community Center. It's a pretty exciting venture that we're undertaking right now, and the award of this grant is going to make this possible. We're going to get a community center out there where Pathfinder Park can be utilized for whatever events that we need to have out there, and most importantly, the fair. We'd like to get the fair out there. It's going to be a nice new facility. We'll have to get barns, of course, for animals once that happens, but it's a great project that we're starting, and hope the community joins in and helps us achieve that. And speaking of the fair this year is still up in arms. There's no definite whether it's going to happen or not yet. And normally the fair is the end of July, 1st of August. Right now, they haven't decided not to have it, but they haven't really decided to have it. So they're working diligently through the 4-H agents down here to have a virtual fair where it'll be done all virtually if we have to cancel the real fair. So there's going to be some modifications to the fair if we do get to have it, but it's all contingent upon this COVID-19 and how everything's playing out. So just like everything all the other events scheduled around the country and the county, and postponements or cancellations, but they're diligently working on the fair and trying to give these 4-H and FFA kids their fair opportunity to show off their wares and their animals and do the best they can with what's going to happen. So
Their fair opportunity. I see what you did there.
fair opportunity, that's right.
I would just, before we turn back to Commissioner Payne, I would just like to throw a really big shout out and thank you to not only Commissioner McFall, but to Jeremy McNeely as well. He is our CSU extension agent. The two of them have truly gone above and beyond in working incredibly hard to be able to obtain this grant for Fremont County, with a lot of help from many others, but I think the entire effort really was spearheaded by the two of you. So from all of us in the county, I just wanted to say thank you for that.
You bet. It's been fun, and it's going to continue to be. We'll get her done.
Absolutely, we will. And you may have noticed, those of you watching us from home, Commissioner Payne is in the house again. So to you, sir, I just would like to say welcome back. It's nice to have you again.
Thank you.
Seated up here
Yeah.
with us, and see if you have
Been
anything you would like
a
to
couple of
talk.
meetings since I've sat up here, so this is great. A couple weeks ago, I mentioned that working on a Rhodes Avenue stormwater project with the city of Canyon City. We're meeting out there at the site tomorrow. County Manager Sonny Bryant, and along with our county engineer Matt Sheldon, will join me out there. I want to give a shout out to City Councilman Jim Meisner, trying to work through some of the issues and some of the problems that we're having getting this project going. And we're going to meet out there tomorrow with some of the Oil Creek Ditch board members on the Oil Creek crossing there, and see if we can't resolve some issues there and get this project moving. So just along with what Commissioner McFall mentioned about the Pathfinder Park, we are doing other things besides COVID-19, and I want to thank the folks that are helping us out with that. So thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, we turn next to old business for consideration. We have none on the agenda today. Okay. New business for consideration. First item is a resolution amending the declaration of a local disaster emergency. So as you know, we've already spoken of it again a couple of times here this morning. COVID-19 is still happening, and we believe probably will still continue to happen for a long time. The commissioners, with the help of our diligent county attorney, Brenda Jackson, have been working and updating and adopting resolutions and adopting new resolutions, confirming and extending and doing a lot of things. What we're doing today is continuing for an unknown period of time the statewide Safer at Home order that was started yesterday on Monday, April 27th. We are going to continue our initial declaration of a local disaster emergency to May 30th of 2020. Included in this are some new guidelines that we are actually reopening the county buildings for Fremont. Please understand, we are not throwing the doors open wide and saying, come one, come all, come down and let's chat and see what we can do for you. The doors actually still will be restricted. You must have an appointment with the office that you need to do business with. So call that office, talk with them, set up an actual appointment to come on down, come in and do the business that you need to do if it needs to be done face to face. We know that there are some things that have gone undone because there are a few things that simply cannot be handled by telephone or online. So we're hoping to be able to capture those and to get caught back up with those. Also, please understand, you will be told when you call in for an appointment, but please understand that you may not come into any county building if you are feeling sick, if you are feeling unwell, if you have a fever, or if you are not wearing a face mask that covers your mouth and nose at all times. So I just want to be very, very clear with those restrictions. So we are extending this declaration of a local disaster emergency, originally dated March 26th. that was then extended to April 30th. We now are extending it to midnight on May 30th unless further amended. Please note, we also continue to strongly encourage our entire community to engage in social distancing and to postpone or cancel any gatherings or events where people will congregate in numbers over 10 or be in close contact with one another. Gentlemen, do you have anything further you'd like to add?
So, Madam Chair, I'd just like to point out that this is the local disaster emergency. It's a declaration. What it does is it allows us for available funding from the state and federal. It doesn't have anything to do with a stay at home or anything like that. It's just declaring the local disaster emergency. And with that, I would move to approve the extension of the local disaster emergency declaration, extending it to May 30th, 2020.
And this is resolution number?
27.
27?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 27, amending the declaration of a local disaster emergency. Is there further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Payne.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, leave your microphone on, if you would, please, Mr. Grantham, because you're up next. We have a grant agreement with Electronic Recording Technology Board for the clerk and recorder. So, Mr. Grantham, we'll turn to you for an explanation, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So when this COVID-19 actually started going crazy and we started staying at home, I started seeking possibilities of working remotely from home with the recording department. And there are a lot that we can do from home or by telephone that we can actually continue services that we are doing. And the Electronic Recording Technology Board and their director decided to allocate $200,000 to the entire, the 64 recording departments for emergency funds for remote working. And with that, to apply for a grant, approximately $1,300 to laptops that would allow us to remotely work from home in case the point came where we needed to be home. So they approved our grant, and I'm here today asking for the board to sign the grant process so I can place the funds back into our recording fund.
Thank you. Gentlemen, questions?
No?
So, Brenda, may I ask, are we approving the grant agreement as well as a signature?
Yes, that would be correct. You're approving the contract.
Okay. All right, gentlemen, your wishes?
With that, Madam Chair, I move to approve the grant agreement and contract with Electronic Recording Technology Board for the clerk and recorder.
Thank you for doing that, Justin. I second that.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the grant agreement and contract with the Electronic Recording Technology Board for the clerk and recorder's office in the amount of $1,348.96. Further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Payne.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, let me get my computer ready here. One of the things that we as Fremont County Commissioners have implemented for the last, I believe, 7 years, it may be 8 years by now, is an annual accountability report. We think it's incredibly important to be responsible, to be transparent, and to be fully, excuse me, to be fully accountable to the public in Fremont County, to those people who pay taxes, to let them know exactly where their tax dollars go every year. So we've implemented a new accountability report. We would like to go through that at this time. We're actually about a month late. We generally present this in March, but we had so many other things happening during the month of March with COVID-19 going on that we just kind of pushed this one aside a little bit. So before we get started, we're going to go kind of slide by slide. We'll talk a little more in depth about some than we will others. I want to let you all know that this already is available on our website, as Sunny mentioned earlier, fremontco.com. And also a shout out to our Human Resources Director, Tammy Childs, for assembling all of this information. It is a huge task. It's a really big job, I know, because I did it for about the first 4 years. It takes a lot of time to do. But Tammy could not do it herself. without help from the other elected officials who participate and from every department head that we have. So I just want to make sure that all those people get the appropriate thank you and congratulations for working on this. So let's get started. First of all, here's our list of Fremont County elected officials. I think you probably know most of us. You might recognize those three people right there. So for Employee of the Year, we had another really amazing selection of folks who were nominated by their coworkers to become Employee of the Year. The nominations are made, they come in, and all of the elected officials have the opportunity to sit down to talk about the nominees and to do a secret ballot to elect. And so our 2019 Employee of the Year was Carrie Porter from the Department of Human Services. So Carrie has been just a wonderful asset for DHS out there. So congratulations again to Carrie and to everyone else who was nominated. So next we have some financial information. So this is a summary of our funds from the 2019 budget. You can take a look at this online. Obviously, there are way too many lines there to talk about and to go into today, but I will tell you that thanks to the very conservative efforts by our county manager, who also serves as our finance officer, Sonny Bryant, our bottom line has been looking pretty good, but we'll have to wait and see what COVID-19 does to all of that. So a few of the things that happened through the Commissioner's office this year, we completed the $3 million bank stabilization project in the Hayden Pass area. This was after the Hayden Pass fire, and there were some floods up there, took away a couple of homes, a lot of different things. You can see by the two pictures that are up there what an incredible change has taken place up there. So we finally were able to get that completed. We concluded the first year of the EPA Brownfield Assessment Program. We completed 5 sites in 2019. We also helped to fund recycling efforts in electronics, and we participated in a regional housing study to let us all know what types of housing are available here in Fremont County and what types of housing we actually need. So some of the things that the three of us were able to do last year, we participated in legislative discussions at the state level with Colorado Counties Incorporated. Several times we headed up to the State House to go in and testify on different bills that were coming up to give our opinions and try to persuade the folks up there to see things the way that we see them here in rural Colorado. We also had the opportunity to attend National Association of Counties, 2 separate meetings that one or more of us went to. The first was in Clark County, Nevada, the annual conference there where we were able to meet a lot of other folks, do a lot of networking, have some very, very good in-person discussions. And then in September, we were able to go to Washington, D.C. to attend an event at the White House that we were all invited to, and we heard some really great information there, and we were able to do a lot of really good advocating for Fremont County during that event as well. So we'll start into different departments. Fremont County Airport is up first with Wes Brandt, our manager. So in 2019, just a few of our statistics, we completed 2,208 fuel orders, fueling 4 Army National Guard helicopters that were assisting in search and rescue operation training. Pumped 75, almost 80,000 gallons of a couple of different kinds of fuel out there. Got some new facility maintenance completed, painted the airport office exterior, including Annex 1, Annex 2, Building 14, Hangar 15, Hangar 16. Did some crack fill operations on the parking ramp on Taxiway A and some of the intersections out there, so you can see they're diligently doing that work. We also held the Fremont County Air Show last September. We typically hold that in conjunction with Pioneer Day, and once again, it was incredibly well attended. It was a wonderful event. There's a major airport economic impact report here you can take a look at if you'd like online. And we will turn next to the Fremont County Building Department. Mike Cox was our building official through 19, but the information here was provided by then acting building official Wyatt Sanders, who has since been named permanent building official. Building permit totals here, you can see a total of 852 different permits were issued, which was up 5.7% from 2018. We had 2 inspectors who completed over 2,000 inspections with almost 40,000 miles of travel. That was a 4% increase in both miles and inspections from 2018. There are the building department financials you can take a look at. And then we'll move into the office of the coroner. Randy Keller, our coroner, provided us with a ton of information, so we're going to kind of do a quick high level here, and then if you want more information, you absolutely can go online and take a look. Randy has the opportunity to serve as president of the Colorado Coroners Association. He does a great job there. He also was appointed by the governor to serve on the Colorado Coroners Standards and Training Board, and he currently serves there as vice president last year, and he is president-elect for 2020. So he has a lot of different statistics here on number of deaths and manner of deaths, deaths that were investigated by his office. He talks about suicides, homicides, child fatalities. So just a lot of different information there from our coroner. So in order to continue this, I'm going to turn it over now to Commissioner McFall, who's going to take about the middle third of the presentation.
All right, thank you. Again, this is available online at fremontco.com, so if you want to spend a little more time on some of these slides. We start off with CSU Extension, which is the 4-H. They're doing a wonderful job. We've got a new extension agent, a little over a year now he's been in place. We have a new 4-H agent starting this year too, but in the past they've done a great job with what they're working with these kids. Their fair opportunity, we'll use that again, right? 2019 entries in the fair, there was open division and then the 4-H division. So you can see the 4-H youth entered was 317 entries, or 317, there were 1,203 entries total. The 2019 county fair, there's the grand champion steer. It shows some of the buyers, the top 5 buyers. Every year they honor those top 5 buyers because they do spend a lot of money at our county fair. And then they have a board that shows all of the buyers that purchase something at the fair. It's hanging on the wall on 5th and Main, I believe is where it is, on the building. Colorado State University Master Gardeners. Jeremy McNeely, the extension agent, is very excited when he came here because of the Master Gardener program. Right now, in 2019, they had 7 Master Gardeners. These guys are expert gardeners. Anybody that has needs any information on gardening, these are the people to call. They can teach you how to garden. They can answer your questions. They do a wonderful job. Then we go on to the Fremont County Department of Human Services. DHS, they are very busy out there currently. 2019, there's just a little synopsis of what they do: food assistance, Medicare, individual counts, food stamps, monthly food stamps. It'll be interesting to see what those numbers are next year. Next slide. The child welfare at a glance. That shows your adoptions, the family's engagement, dependencies, neglect, siblings, assignments, child welfare referrals. They do a lot of work with children that need to be placed in homes as well. Child abuse prevention awareness. We are currently in that this year. It's in the month of April every year. It's on Wednesday, wear blue. So tomorrow, wear blue to show your support for child abuse prevention and awareness. They're really involved in the community. High school, fairy tale nights, reading to the youngsters, chocolate walk. They're highly involved in the community with all kinds of activities. There's another one of community partnerships. Foster and kinship, talked about this a second ago, placing kids in foster homes. In 2019, 54% were placed with kin, which is what they try to do first, which is a great opportunity for those children to lead a normal life as they can. Agency-wide recruitment and retention, the staff, they're constantly trying to hire good staff and keep them. Then they do a lot of training. You can never have too much training in anything you do, but they train constantly. Their programs, which are a lot mandated by the state, are constantly changing, so they constantly have to train.
I think we need to get puppies in here for training, just saying.
All right. World-class employees. We do have some great employees out there. They have a tough job. They do a wonderful job of what they do in all facets of it. Hammers and nails. They did a little bit of remodeling out there to make more efficient use of the rooms. Remodeled some offices and then did some landscaping out front and cleaned it up really nice out there. Next department we go to is the Department of Transportation, CDOT. These are the guys that keep our dirt roads plowed and hopefully smooth. The first slide there shows the projects that were done in 2019 from culverts, dust suppressant, chip seal, asphalt projects. These guys are busy all year round. The next slide shows the water that they use when they grade a road. They have to wet it down or it doesn't do any good. Last year it was very, very dry, so they were having to use lots and lots of gallons of water. This shows the different waters in the different parts of the county, gallons used. Their cooperative projects, grant funding, working on the WPA, Sheriff's Department, just public relations, a lot goes on out public transportation. The fleet, got trucks and tractors, every little kid's big dream right there, run those machinery. And then to emergency management, Michael Kroll is our emergency manager. He's doing a wonderful job for us over there. Last year we had a fire, the Decker fire, which was in Chaffee County mostly, but it did bleed into Fremont County. He was very active and on hands with that. Hazard mitigation, he's doing a wonderful job right now for us with this COVID-19 response. Move on to county planning and zoning. Sean Garrett, he's our director. He's enforcement officers. He's got 3 of them, Danielle, Fred, and Dan. Here are some of the applications, licenses, and reviews that they did. I'm going to go through all these again. They are on our website if you want to look at them a little closer. Code enforcement, physical addressing, they verify in addresses. There's some addresses that were out of shape. You had to get some of those in order for emergency response. It was a big task. Numbers by year, this is the permits that are issued. You can see how many from 2018-19. They continually go up. The land use violations, those are given to the code enforcement. You can see those are continually going up also. These guys are pretty busy when they're out there. Marijuana complaints are going down. That's a good thing. It means there's either less of them or they're doing things right. Violations overview and summary. Again, that just gives the amount of cases that were open and closed. They're active. It's kind of interesting that most violations happen on agricultural estates, agricultural subdivision, and low density residential properties. And I think that's because people have acreage and then they just plop stuff down and somebody doesn't like it, so it becomes a violation. Helping Hands is a project where when someone has trouble cleaning up their properties, the county has to step in. Monies are available. They go in here as before and after pictures of some of the projects where the properties were pretty junky and cleaned up afterwards. There's another slide of those before and after pictures. Helping Hands cost, so the total cost last year was $17,525. That money comes from tipping fees, which we receive from the landfill. Environmental Health Agency.
I think this is where I take over.
Is that where you take over?
I
It's all
believe so.
you.
All right, thank you,
Turn it over to Commissioner
McCall.
Payne.
Okay. Fremont County Public Environmental Health Agency, Emma Davis is our director. Obviously, her 2019 looked a whole lot different than her 2020 with all that's going on. Some of the things that this is what they did in 2019 that you can look up again online. And then some of their grants and programs we're going to go through here real quick that they did in 2019. This is healthy communities that came that they worked on. The Best Start program, they put that together. Immunization program, what she did, the prescription drug overdose program. She had a pretty busy 2019 doing all this stuff. The CTC grant. Oh, I'm ahead of you. Sorry, Sonny. I was told by the chair to move it along, and I'm good at moving along, so yeah. So the Communities of Care grant, that's something that Commissioner Bell is involved with. She graciously, well, I guess that's the proper adjective. She graciously said she was going to do that. Some more on the Communities of Care. The Youth Advisory Board and interns. There's some more statistics on stuff that they worked on last year, and even more statistics. This is the health improvement plan that they worked on last year for 2019, 2023. This is the, oh, wait a minute. Went in the Sheriff's Office, Alan Cooper and Derek Irvin. It's okay. You're more coordinators, the other two, than I am. Okay, some of the stuff they did in 2019, did a lot of hiring. They were pretty busy out there doing a lot of stuff. Involved with the Decker fire and all the statistics involved with that. Here's your personnel update. Some of the stats on that you can look up online. The detention center did buy a couple of new transport vans. They got that from sale of surplus properties. This is some of the stats on the court security and the detention center housing. Investigations, a bunch of the stats on that, along with the patrol, what all they did. We did open up the Cotopaxi substation. There's a picture there for that. And the Fremont County Treasurer and Public Trustee, Kathy Elliott, some of the statistics that she had going on, everything that she did. Again, you can look it up online where we have it, and with her report. And then we went into the weed management, which is the Brittany Pierce. She's our director there, and some of the stuff that she did, and then her statistics of what she took care of last year. And man, I busted through that pretty good. Thank you.
So I need to clarify, I did not just tell Commissioner Payne that he needs to hurry up right this very moment. That was part of a much larger discussion we had a couple of weeks ago. So
Oh, see, I had selective hearing
I'm
going
going
on
to call him out on that one. I also would mention this report typically is what we use for our presentation during the senior mini college. Unfortunately, that, along with so many other things, had to be canceled this year. So we were unable to do that, but we're very pleased to be able to bring this report to all of you today. And I highly encourage you to go online, pull up the report, take another look at it for yourselves, and you can look at some of those numbers that there were many of there that give you the statistics that you might be interested in. So thanks for helping present that. It is a little after 10 this morning, but I decided as chairman to go ahead and finish the presentation that we were working on. The last item for business we have today is a public hearing. This is a new liquor license application for Fun Country LLC. It's a retail liquor license at 559 County Road 3A in Canyon City. I believe we have with us this morning Vanessa Messer. Would you like to come on up and let us know what your plans are and what you're going to do? I will open this public hearing now.
Good morning.
Good morning. If you would hit that button and turn it on. All right, there you go. So if you just want to talk generally about what your plans are up there.
Okay. We are supplying the retail liquor license for our general store, which is at the Royal Gorge KOA campground. We are open to the public, not just to the campground, so it will be our normal business hours once those go back into effect. It's open, I don't know what else to note on it, liquor, beer, and wine.
Okay, so let me ask you about training. How are you trained, or how will you train your staff?
There is a responsible vendor training that we're going to be participating in. Those are done online. It's interactive online training, so those will be signed up for. The management will have it, as well as several of the key staff that are in the store for the most part.
Okay, so you do understand everyone who sells liquor must have that training?
Yes, there's a separate register, so only certain staff will be allowed to ring
Okay.
up those purchases
Okay.
that have had the training.
All right. Another quick question I have for you. We have before us a drawing of the layout of the store, and it shows all of your different storage areas, all of those things. The one thing I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around is it shows a separate outline around from where you come in the front door, off to the right, and then it kind of comes up, goes around a storage room, wraps around alcohol coolers, and then it shows it coming back down, but it shows it sort of wrapping through soda and fountain coolers. And I'm just wondering, do you know what that line actually designates?
It's just I guess an inner dimension to our general store, where it includes the storage area for the liquor on premise and the register that's going to be doing the sales, and the, I guess, retail access to those things. So it's an area within an area.
So it is a completely separate area?
It's not walled off or anything, no.
Okay.
It's just, that's where it'll be kept. We won't have beer
Okay.
over here in this other section. We won't have beer outside. It's in with that contained area.
Okay, thank you. That explains it for me. Gentlemen, do you have any questions at this time?
So I kind of had one similar to that. It was on that same topic, but then I think you said it though. There's going to be a separate register over there for the liquor versus the one for the general stuff.
Yes, because there's a sort of a limit of ratio of what else is allowed to be sold as the liquor store. So it'll have its own transactions and its own till, its own people that are allowed to ring up purchases.
Okay.
Anything else at this time?
No.
Okay, let's have a staff report, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. All the documentation was submitted to our office, and everything appears to be in order.
And the appropriate fees were paid, and,
And all the fees were paid.
okay.
I did notice one thing, Mr. Grantham, and I think it was on the sheriff's deal, that it wasn't posted when they saw it. Was that before it was posted? Do you know why it's, let me find it here. He had checked that it wasn't posted. I did see where it was posted. You have a tremendously long application. You
It's
did
a
a good
long
job of getting
application.
information, I tell you. Let me find it here.
I'm looking too, but I'm not finding a page number
It's
for you yet.
way
so.
down at the bottom somewhere.
It's possible. They actually showed up prior to what I thought they would be coming. I thought they were coming later in the process, but they came, and the poster might have been after they came, but then I did submit a picture
I
showing
saw
proof of the
that.
date that was
Yeah.
posted, and then we had to adjust the date because it got rescheduled.
I saw that too, yeah.
yeah,
It was,
so-
because it was changed, and that's what I wondered, if the sheriff wasn't there
It's all the
before
way
that.
down on page 86 is the
Oh,
sheriff's
I'm almost there.
report.
And that was the only thing that I just wondered, and I kind of figured that because the date was changed also, that there might have been something to that. Other than that, it was all okay. Yeah,
So you're good?
yeah.
All right. Commissioner Payne, anything?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Typically, this would be the time that we would turn to the public for input and ask if they're in favor of or opposed for any reason.
Okay.
Right now, our buildings are still closed, so we don't have that in person. Understanding that there is an element of timing to this, and you're seeking to receive this as quickly as you can, we are choosing today to schedule a special meeting this Thursday, which will be April 30th at 2 p.m. in this boardroom for our actual decision. That will allow us time to receive public input in a couple of different ways. So if there's anyone in the public who wants to comment on this application, you can contact the commissioners through letter that's delivered here, or you can send us an email. That contact information and whatever you would like to say, the testimony for this public hearing must be to us by this Thursday, the 30th at noon, in order for us to discuss. So gentlemen, I'm going to close the public hearing at this time and ask for a motion that encompasses delaying this decision until Thursday. Tabling, I guess.
Madam
would be
Chair,
the
I
word.
move to table this decision until Thursday at 2, I believe it's at 2 o'clock.
2 p.m.
To allow for input, if any, from the public.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded to table this decision until this Thursday, which is April 30th at 2 p.m. to allow the public ample time for any kind of comment they would like to make. That comment will be due to us by Thursday, the 30th at noon in order for us to consider.
You need to leave the public hearing open.
Well, let's reopen the public hearing.
Right.
And then
That's
we
so
will
right.
close it at that time, correct? Okay. Thank you for that. All right, is there further discussion? Roll call.
So I'm going to speak louder because my mic seems to have turned off. So, Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Payne.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right. So thank you. We will have a decision for you on Thursday.
Thank you.
All right?
Thank you, guys.
Do I need to come back for that, or?
You don't need
call?
to be here. You can be if you would like, but you don't need to be. So.
Okay, thank you.
Your choice, okay? All right, there being no further business to come before this board, we are adjourned.